You will never be rich. And it's not because you don't work hard. It's because the system was built to prevent you from rising. What you call capitalism is not just an economic system. It's a social system. A machine designed to organize people, control behavior, and keep entire classes predictable. And the engine of this machine isn't profit. It's debt. Yes, debt. Debt is what creates liquidity, what creates flow, what keeps banks alive and governments standing. Without debt, the system collapses. That's why even the biggest countries in the world owe. The biggest companies owe. And you also need to owe. Not by choice, but by design. Abundant credit is not a social benefit. It is a containment mechanism. With each limit increase, each easy loan, each infinite installment plan, you think you're gaining freedom. But in reality, you're entering a track designed to prevent your ascension. Most people will never become rich, not because they are stupid or lazy, but because the system was engineered to keep them indebted just enough to survive, but never enough to escape. And here's how it works. Imagine an ordinary person. They work hard. They feel they deserve small rewards. They buy something they didn't need. And by paying in installments, they believe there's no interest. But there is. Money always charges a price for time. If you don't pay it, the seller pays. And if the seller pays, they pass it back to you. Nothing is truly interest-free. The result? The average citizen enters a slow, continuous, predictable cycle of debt. When the credit card maxes out, they take a loan. They pay the card and return to the beginning. A perfect gear, mathematically planned. Because capitalism doesn't just sell products, it sells lifestyles. It shapes consumption trends, categorizes people into predictable groups, and keeps each one in their proper place. This is the structure. And until you understand the game, you will remain just another piece of it. Eternal debt is not an accident. It is the driving principle of this system. While the working class pays interest, the rich grow by using debt. Yes, the same tool that destroys one builds the empire of another. Because for the poor, debt means cost. For the rich, debt means leverage. This is the invisible mechanism. It's called arbitrage. Those who have access to the top of the system borrow money at minimal interest and invest that same money in assets that yield more, often in other countries. They profit using other people's money. That's how fortunes are built. And this structural difference reveals the truth. The game was not made for the lower classes. The richer you are, the less interest you pay. The poorer you are, the more interest they charge you. Doesn't seem fair. Exactly. It isn't. But to the system, it's rational. Someone with assets represents little risk. Someone without assets represents total risk. That's why those who least need to pay interest pay almost nothing. And those who need it most pay for everyone. The system always protects those at the top and always weighs on those who sustain the base. And this is where you realize something. The system didn't fail you. It worked exactly as it was designed. The question now is no longer, why didn't you get rich? The question is, what happens when you finally understand the game? The answer doesn't fit in this video. In part 2, I'll show you the element no one talks about. It's not just the system that limits you. It's your own body, your time, your psychology, your invisible programming. If you want to continue, enter knowing one thing. After you hear what comes next, there is no going back to ignorance. See you in the next part.